Boy, oh boy, welcome to the show, everybody. This is the Farzy Show presented by our good friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. The Philadelphia Eagles beat the Kansas City Chiefs 21-17 in yet another ugly, horrendous game, but who the hell cares? The Philadelphia Eagles are 9-1. Take a look at that. The Eagles tweeting that out after the game. 9-1 on the season. Incredible numbers reached. Jalen Hurts, if you haven't heard it yet, we talked about last week. He was the youngest quarterback to go 8-1 in consecutive seasons. He's now the youngest quarterback to go 9-1 in consecutive seasons. Now only two other quarterbacks. John Elway is one of them. He was pretty good at football, if you remember. Jim Kelly is another one. He was also pretty good at football. And Jalen Hurts, the youngest of that bunch. 9-1 in back-to-back seasons. Not too shabby. Jalen Hurts and this Eagles team did an incredible thing last night. And it's one of the things that I absolutely love about this team. And finally, I feel like Jalen Hurts, for a man of words that he is, and such a brilliant man of words, I think last night he found the most perfect way to put it. Jalen Hurts now has 7 wins after trailing by 10 or more points. So he's down double digits. He's now got 7 wins in his back pocket coming back from double-digit deficits. The next quarterback has 4. And this is since 1991. Okay, so more incredible numbers here. Jalen Hurts found the perfect way to answer what happens when his team goes down 10 points and he's the quarterback of that team that's down 10 points. It's a very simple word. Calmness. I think it's the best answer he could have given. He gave more than a one-word answer, but that's the one word that jumped out to me in his answer. We'll let you hear the full answer and the full context of it a little later in the show. We'll hear from Nick Sirianni. But the Eagles, I feel, got a monkey off their back last night. The deal is that they weren't going to get their Super Bowl rings back. And I said yesterday, if I could say anything to that Eagles team, it would be very simple. It would be, you're not going to win 2 games in one night. You're not going to go back and reverse course and reverse history by going in the time machine and going back to last February and then beating the Kansas City Chiefs and getting a Super Bowl ring. That wasn't going to happen. Nick Sirianni was preaching that in the NovaCare complex all week, and I love that he was preaching that. And you certainly weren't going to also beat him last night and do the 2 of the same things. If you start pressing to try to reverse history, you're going to lose that game. You're going to lose focus. They didn't do that last night. But neither team, for a long period of time, was playing like they really wanted to win this game. The team, and I'll say this more specifically, the unit that wanted to win this game more than anything was the Philadelphia Eagles defense. And you can make the case in the first half that maybe that was the Kansas City Chiefs. Maybe the Kansas City Chiefs were the team that really wanted to win this game by the fact that they brought down Jalen Hurts 5 times in the first half. That's right. They sacked Jalen Hurts 5 times in the first half. And then, of course, a goose egg 0 times in the second half. But watching Bradley Roby punch that ball out, watching Kevin Byard jump up and snatch that ball out of the air in the end zone for the touchback for the Eagles, that showed me that this defense was ready to go. The sacks certainly weren't there tonight, and sacking Patrick Mahomes is easier said than done. But watching that Eagles defense last night, they did everything they needed to do to try to win that football game. And they continuously gave the ball back twice on 2 different occasions, gave the ball back to the Philadelphia Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And Jalen Hurts, the Philadelphia Eagles offense, could barely do anything with it outside of their second drive of the game. And then they get into the fourth quarter. And Jalen Hurts did what Jalen Hurts does, which is push all the rest of the game, all the bad stats, all the bad numbers, push all that aside. The inability to convert a third down. Forget about a push 4th and 1. How about just convert on the 3rd and 1? How about just trying to do that? How about just trying to convert on a 3rd down in general? 0 for 3 at halftime versus the 6 for 8 you surrendered to the Kansas City Chiefs at halftime. And the Eagles turned that around in the second half also, especially in that fourth quarter. You have so many 3-and-outs in this game, so many missed opportunities to convert on 3rd down, and he can't stay on the field as an offense. And then finally, We were waiting with bated breath for this Eagles team to kick it into high gear. And in the third quarter, you finally see some hope from Jalen Hurts and the Eagles offense. First off, the defense, out of nowhere, makes Kansas City Chiefs punt, which was a rarity, it felt like, in a lot of instances, especially in that first half. You force them to punt. Eagles are able to get the ball back. They hand the ball, or they have a short pass there to Devontae Smith. He gets 9 yards for it with 6:58 remaining in the third quarter. The Eagles are starting a little bit of a drive here. They get to a 3rd and 1. All of a sudden, you say, you know what? Let's go with that tush push. Jalen Hurts goes up the middle for that 2-yard gain. And then on a 1st and 10 from the 50-yard line. We're going to talk about Brian Johnson and some of the play calling because some of it, a lot of it, most of it was horrid. It was putrid. And in the early goings of that third quarter, you saw some really terrible play calling. And then out of nowhere, you see this jet sweep, this end-around run with DeAndre Swift. And he breaks it off for 35 yards on that drive. Jalen Hurts throws an incompletion. Jalen Hurts hits Devontae Smith for a 5-yard gain. And then Jalen Hurts now on a 3rd and 5 from the Kansas City 10-yard line. Jalen Hurts calls his own number. And for the only time in this game, and the first time in a long time that it's actually worked, Jalen Hurts, quarterback draw, right side of the line of scrimmage, runs it upfield for the touchdown. And the next thing you know, instead of being down 17-7, 10 points, you're now down 17-14. Eagles defense able to make a stand on this one after what was still a little bit of a long drive there by Kansas City, but nothing doing for them. Pacheco's running the ball pretty well for him at that point, continued to run the ball rather well. And then out of nowhere, the start of that fourth quarter with the Kansas City Chiefs, like I said, driving on that possession at Arrowhead Stadium. Patrick Mahomes hits Travis Kelce for 5 yards, and Bradley Roby aggressively on a 1st and 10 from the Eagles' 14-yard line, and the Kansas City Chiefs driving to put the game away. Bradley Roby, fresh off IR, punches the ball, punch off the injured list, I should say. Fresh off the injured list. Punches the ball free of Travis Kelce's hands, and the Eagles jump on it for that possession. What do the Eagles do with it? Nothing. But they stop the Kansas City Chiefs from scoring, so at least there's that. And instead of them getting the ball again on the 14-yard line or them getting the ball on what would have been the 9-yard line, Travis Kelce just goes down and holds on to that football. Instead of getting the ball there, they get the ball on the 39-yard line. So they get pushed back just a little bit. Excuse me, the Kansas City 37-yard line after they punt. So the Eagles got the ball back, did nothing with it. That's when they ran the back-to-back bubble screens, one to Devontae Smith, where A.J. Brown just wanted nothing to do with blocking and also just wasn't executed well at all from a throw standpoint, from a blocking standpoint at all. And then Julio Jones runs the play to the other side. I was livid at this moment. So the Eagles come up with a huge stop, not just a stop, but recover a fumble, take the edge in the turnover battle here. And Brian Johnson calls back-to-back bubble screens? What? What? When you're backed up on your own 10-yard line, you're running bubble screens? Are you begging for a pick six? That was mind-blowing. I was shocked. I was almost as shocked as the 3rd and 3 against the Dallas Cowboys, which still to me remains the worst play call of the season when they threw to A.J. Brown, but whatever. The conversation for another day. So at this point, Brian Johnson showed me the jet sweep, and I went, I like that with DeAndre, so let's see a little bit more of that. You didn't. And then I see back-to-back bubble screens when you're backed up in your own 10-yard line. And wait, hold on a second. You're also down 3. Not good. Not good. So then you end up punting on the 3 and out. Kansas City gets the ball back. They're unable to do anything with it. The Eagles get a big stop there. And then this was interesting. I didn't have if I was a Chiefs fan, I wouldn't have had as much of a problem as I heard from John McMullen after the game, because John McMullen highlighted this as a very interesting point in the game. The 4th and 4 on the Eagles' 39-yard line, where Andy Reid elected to punt instead of either kick the field goal in terrible conditions all day, so I understand why he didn't kick the field goal. And then he also opted to not go for it at that spot. So they punt the ball. They put the Eagles back on their 20-yard line. It goes into the end zone for the touchback. So a bad punt right there by a guy who's a pretty good painter in Townsend. And the Eagles get the football back at the 20-yard line. They then engineer a 7-play, 80-yard drive that is capped off with a Jalen Hurts tush-push touchdown for a second rushing touchdown of the game, and the Eagles going up 21-17. On that drive, you had a big big reception there by DeAndre Swift, who, if I can describe the way DeAndre Swift played yesterday, he played angry. I credit Isaiah Pacheco a lot, especially in the Super Bowl last year. In this game in particular, especially the first half, he runs angry. He runs aggressive. He runs like, you want to try to tackle me? You bring it. So I hope you're ready for this smoke type of thing. And he goes out there last night, and DeAndre Swift kind of matched that energy when he had the opportunities to do it. He had the 20-yard reception on this drive. Hurts is then able to hit Julio Jones for 5 yards. Throws an incompletion to Jack Stoll. Then all of a sudden, Devontae Smith comes up with a 13-yard reception on a 3rd and 5. They're able to convert again. And then Hurts steps back on a 1st and 10 from the Kansas City 42 and throws a 41-yard bomb down the field to Devontae Smith, who catches the ball and comes down at the 1-yard line. And for all the kids at home that want to be wide receivers one day, for all the kids that are in the leagues and you want to be a good wide receiver, Devontae Smith executed perfect late hands. Didn't have the hands way out here, had the hands right here at the last second. Because the minute he puts his hands up, that defensive back is coming in and he's swiping that ball away. It was Edwards in coverage. And you didn't do that. He didn't do that. Was watching the ball, tracking the ball, watching the ball, tracking the ball, hands up, caught, down at the 1-yard line, push, touchdown, 21-17 Eagles. Devontae Smith, especially in that second half, came to play, and he came to eat. And that's what he was able to do in that second half. A.J. Brown left a little bit to be desired in both the blocking game and the temper tantrum game. But watching this Eagles team come together the way they did in the late stages of that game was spectacular. It was not pretty. The Kansas City Chiefs blew many opportunities. Patrick Mahomes throwing a bad interception in the end zone. Travis Kelce fumbling the football, not securing the football in the red zone at the 9-yard line. You won't see that too much from Travis Kelce going forward in his Hall of Fame career. But it happened. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, dropping the ball, the go-ahead touchdown in the end zone. Dropping that. Oh, my goodness gracious. Watson. Oh, my goodness, Watson. Watson catches that touchdown pass and then makes another catch down the sideline, and then 2 drops last night. At least 2 drops, including one on a 4th and 25. Oh, my goodness. I told you last night going into the game, yesterday morning, I should say, I said the Eagles are the better team. The Eagles are going to win this football game. My prediction yesterday on this show was 29-25. I had like a weird wonky score, right? And then as the time went on, I was like, it's going to be raining down there. I'll lower that score a little bit. By the time pregame was done on Jacob Media, my official prediction leading up to the game, and we had already gone to John McMullen at Arrowhead Stadium. And John had already talked about how the rain was coming down, and it was coming down hard, and the tarp had been off the field for quite a while. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go 23-20. Eagles win this game. Oh, it's going to be 24-20. Eagles win this game. I'm not saying that because I was close. I'm saying that because the weather was certainly a factor in this. Now, let's just break it down like this, okay? If Patrick Mahomes went out there and absolutely dominated the Eagles, and Jalen Hurts then still put up the numbers that he put up yesterday, which were not great at all, then I'd be really pissed. Well, Patrick Mahomes was able to do it on that field again. Jalen Hurts wasn't able to do it. What the hell? What gives there? Why do the offense of the Eagles suck? And why do the Kansas City Chiefs offense look awesome? Neither team looked particularly crisp in this game. Patrick Mahomes trying to escape pressure didn't look crisp, as we have seen him look throughout his career. The turnovers certainly didn't look like they were very Kansas City Chief-like turnovers. The Philadelphia Eagles protecting Jalen Hurts in the first half was damn near non-existent. 5 sacks first half, no sacks in the second half. Absolutely ridiculous. Neither team could move the football with great efficiency, not even a little bit in that first half. You had great rushing offense from the Kansas City Chiefs in that first half, thanks to Isaiah Pacheco. You had 121 yards surrendered by the best running defense in the league. The Eagles gave up 121 yards of rushing offense in the first half. They gave up a 68 on average going into the game. 121 yards in the first half, 47 in the second. Now, you could say, well, they only ran the ball 10 times in the second half. Well, if they had it working for them and they got away from it, I mean, I know Andy Reid likes to abandon the run. We know that from him being here in Philadelphia. We know that all too well. But, oh, my goodness gracious, people. If it was working that well to the point of 4.7 yards per carry in the second half and they got away from it, they got away from it for a reason. I give Sean Desai a lot of credit for them getting away from that run. I give Sean Desai a lot of credit for being able to take away what was working so well for them in that first half. I give the offensive line and I give Jalen Hurts a lot of credit for, and yes, Brian Johnson, I give him a lot of credit for making adjustments to make sure that their quarterback wasn't going to be sacked as many times as he was in the first half in that second half. And here's what I'll say. And Seth Joyner explained this to me, and I think Seth was kind of in a similar boat as I was when it came to the flat-out outrage of seeing them there back-to-back bubble screens called by Brian Johnson. If you see Seth Joyner's tweet, if you saw it last night, you know what I'm talking about. If you didn't, allow me to paraphrase. What the bleep are you doing? That's kind of what he was saying. Put in the bleep, and you understand what I'm talking about here, okay? Then, as the game went on, we noticed that what Jalen Hurts was doing, what Brian Johnson was doing in those instances, was suckering the defense, setting up the defense. Now, I've told you guys many times before that I hate the expression of, the screen game is an extension of the run game. Yeah. But in a lot of instances, especially with Steve Spagnuolo, at least seemingly being more aggressive with blitzers than he has been in years past or in games past. And I know he's aggressive. Yesterday seemed like he was a lot more aggressive than normal, and Jalen Hurts surely did not look like a guy that was very mobile in the pocket yesterday for most of the game, especially in that first half. They made an adjustment. They said if they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage, if they're going to try to get that push up the middle, if they're going to try to send blitzers up the middle, then we're going to throw the ball to the outside. And although they weren't successful in doing it for a good part of it, especially those back-to-back bubble screens, one to Devontae Smith and then the other to Julio Jones, it seemed to start taking the Kansas City Chiefs game away from them, which was attacking the middle of the line of scrimmage and being aggressive in the middle of the line of scrimmage, because the Eagles made them start spreading the field defensively. Eagles spread the field offensively, and that, of course, made the Kansas City Chiefs start to push guys to the outside, and all of a sudden didn't have as many guys available on the inside to start blitzing, or to keep blitzing, I should say. So maybe there was a method to the madness, and I was just as outraged as Seth Joyner. I was just as outraged as a lot of people. And I'm watching this Brian Johnson fella who's got one of the best scoring offenses in all of football. And he's calling plays for a 9-1 football team. And he's calling plays for a team that is converting at alarming rates on third downs and fourth downs. And yes, a lot of that is thanks to the tush push. So yes, there's a lot of talent on this offense. But I'll watch a play like those back-to-back bubble screens and it's just, what? What are you doing? Maybe there's a method to the madness in this instance. I mean, the best play call I saw for Brian Johnson was the jet sweep. Running that with DeAndre Swift, getting 35 yards out of that was spectacular. The throw down the field to Devontae Smith, the 41-yard pass that set up the touchdown, the tush-push touchdown, and the go-ahead touchdown for the Eagles. That actually, as they revealed after the game, and I thought it was interesting, Nick Sirianni just kind of put it out there, Jalen Hurts made the check down at the line of scrimmage. And that's how they were able to come up with that play. Unbelievable. Folks, look, you could go through this, and I know Niners fans are going through this, and they're saying we suck, and I see the people in the chat that the Eagles suck, and they're lucky, and all that stuff. Damn, if they're lucky and they're at 9-1, every member of the Philadelphia Eagles should start playing the lotto. I mean, it's a lot safer way to make money. Just lottery tickets. I don't know. The holiday jackpot. What do we got going on here with the PA lottery? What a great gift. They're better than lucky, man. I can't. I have to play this for you now. It is fantastic. This is your quarterback. This is Jalen Hurts talking about the calmness. Now, again, 7 times in his career, most of any quarterback that they've kept track of doing this, okay, since 1991. Since 1991, he has come back 7 times when down 10 or more points. More than any. The next person has 4, okay? Jalen Hurts, on what the hell goes on in his mind, particularly in this game when you're down 10 points. Here's your quarterback. Tell me you don't want this guy under center.
There's a calmness there, and you have to truly remain in control. And I just try not to never get too high, never get too low. Obviously, the standard is the standard. You want to play to a high standard all the time, but things happen. Turnovers happen. But negative plays happen. Sacks happen. Big plays, giving up big plays defensively, those happen. But it's just about never getting too high, never getting too low. And I think that's just the character and the identity of this team right now. And I think we're still building. I think we're still learning. We got a ton to improve on. We're truly taking it 1 week at a time, 1 game at a time, 1 rep at a time in practice. But there's a ton of opportunity out there for us. We just have to continue to have the growth mindset that we have and just continue to get better.
You tell me right now that's not the mindset you want from your quarterback. When everything else is going, is that not the perfect answer for a quarterback? When everything else is going on around you, that's chaos, getting sacked 5 times in the first half. When everything else going around you is nuts. You can't make a play downfield. You're not running the ball. You're not converting on 3rd down. There's a calmness. That's some Michael Corleone stuff, okay? He's not Sonny, where he's going all over the place. He's crazy. He's shot up at the toll booth. That ain't happening. He's not Fredo. He's actually smart. You know what I'm saying? This is the absolute mindset you want your quarterback to have. And that's how he does it. That's how he makes it so damn special. I mentioned before, I missed 1 quarterback, by the way. I mentioned John Elway. I mentioned Jim Kelly, Peyton Manning. Jalen Hurts is the 4th NFL quarterback since the 1970 merger to start 9-0 or better through 10 games in consecutive years. The youngest quarterback to do so. Peyton Manning did it with the Colts in 05 to 06. John Elway did it from 96 to 97 with the Broncos. And he was L'd at that point. And Jim Kelly, 1990 and 1991 with the Buffalo Bills. Let me mention those names one more time. And perhaps if you don't know those names, let me stop, okay? Hall of Fame Jim Kelly. Hall of Famer, 2-time Super Bowl winning champion John Elway. Hall of Famer Peyton Manning. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Pretty good. One other thing I want to mention, and we'll get to your head coach here as well, but regarding him, Nick Sirianni's become the 6th NFL head coach since the 1970 merger to guide his team to a 9-1 start or better in back-to-back seasons. The other coaches include Tony Dungy. He was pretty good. Mike Shanahan. Yeah, he had a pretty good run there with the Broncos. Marv Levy. Of course, that goes hand-in-hand with Jim Kelly, as it does with John Elway. George Seifert, 89 to 90, and Don Shula, the 72-73 Dolphins. Ya boy, Nick Sirianni, is right there. And by the way, he is the first NFL head coach to accomplish that feat within their first 3 years of their career as a head coach since Mike Shanahan in 96-97. First NFL coach to accomplish that feat within their first 3 career seasons as a head coach. I'd say what's going on right now is pretty special. You want to talk about a team that's At this point in the season, you want to talk about a team that's 5-5. You want to talk about a team that's 6-4. You want to talk about a team that's 7-3. Yeah, you could talk about luck. You go, oh man, if they reel in that touchdown pass, oh man, you guys are losing that football game. You're right. But 9-1, 9-1. You can shut up about luck. I believe in teams that create their own luck. And I believe in teams that take advantage of every opportunity that's put in front of them. And I know everyone's going to focus on the offense because the offense, oh man, the offense is what's sexy. The offense is what gets headlines, baby. But this Eagles defense doing what they were supposed to do against a Kansas City Chiefs offense that is not nearly as good as it was a season ago. Still, and even after yesterday's game now, even more so, averaging more than a touchdown fewer per game than what they did a year ago. And this Eagles offense, or this Eagles defense, did exactly what they were supposed to do against this Kansas City Chiefs defense, or offense. They took the ball away. The Eagles D took the ball away from the KCO in this game when they needed to. They stepped up and they made plays. That's not just luck. Punching the ball out isn't just luck from Bradley Roby. Getting him healthy for this game wasn't just luck. Kevin Byard was an amazing acquisition by Howie Roseman. And if you watched this show yesterday, if you listened to this show yesterday, then you heard me saying that one of the things I want about the bye week is I want Jalen Hurts to look healthy, and I want Kevin Byard to look like that two-time All-Pro that Howie Roseman acquired before the deadline. I got one of those things. On one of the plays, I saw Jalen Hurts look like he was 100% healthy, and that was the 10-yard quarterback draw that they ran for the touchdown. That was great. That looked healthy. Excuse me. Kevin Byard coming up with that interception in the end zone against Kansas City Chiefs, that was the guy that Howie Roseman acquired. A lot of credit to this defense. A lot of credit to this defense. A lot of credit to another buzzword other than calmness that I heard after the game last night, and that word was resiliency. Resiliency. And this Eagles team showed that resiliency. Here's your head coach talking about what he learned about his team after the game.
Yeah, just resiliency. I mean, it wasn't pretty. It wasn't. I mean, there was a lot of ugly moments in it. But they just kept fighting and kept staying together. It was just a good team win, where everyone just stayed together, right? And the defense just kept making plays, waiting for the offense to make a play, and we did in some critical times. Devontae and AJ had a huge play that Jalen actually checked to. It was a heck of a check. Jalen just sees some great things out there, and he did a phenomenal job. Got to a little bit of a, I won't get too much into it, but he checked to that. And it ended up being the right call at the right moment. And that's what good quarterbacks do. Quarterbacks, they make 3 or 4 plays that change the game with their mind, right? They got to do a great job throwing the ball, running the show. But they make 3 to 4 checks a game with their mind that can make big differences. And Jalen did that tonight.
3 to 4, they can change the game with their mind. Change the game now. That was Jalen Hurts yesterday.
For the people on the podcast, I just did a wonderful pantomime of a psychic changing the game with their mind.
Anyway, next I will
bend a spoon.
That's the way it happened for Jalen Hurts, especially in that 41-yard pass to Devontae Smith. That was a thing of beauty. And I asked this, and we've been asking this of every quarterback ever in the history of ever in the NFL, and we've been asking this every quarterback the Eagles have ever had. You always want to feel like no matter what, you have a chance to win that game. No matter what, you have a chance to win the game. Jalen Hurts gives you that belief, gives you that confidence. And why is that? Because of his calmness. And why is that? Because of the resiliency. Not just the entire football team, but your quarterback in general. People always talk about the team. It takes the persona of the head coach. The team also takes the persona of the quarterback. And one of the things I love, and I was talking about, the Godfather brothers there randomly. There was Sonny and Michael and Fredo and all that stuff. AJ Brown is definitely a Sonny. Like, he is definitely a hothead screaming on the sidelines. There's the interception there from Jalen Hurts that was later described as a miscommunication, and it certainly looked like a miscommunication where all of a sudden, out of nowhere, A.J. Brown decided, hey, I'm going to be open downfield. That might look great. And when you watch the All-22, or even in this particular case, that instant replay that you saw on the ESPN broadcast, even seeing that, you go, oh, why didn't Jalen Hurts just lead him downfield? Because that's not how football works. I know. Oh, there's the open man. Hit him. Yeah, okay, sometimes you got to rush it. There was another time where DeAndre Swift was open right in the flat, but the rush was coming from that side, and Jalen Hurts couldn't see him, just like Jalen Hurts couldn't see that A.J. Brown was like, by the way, I'm not running the route you think I am. I'm going to run down the field. Sometimes that works. Sometimes you're going to hit a home run. Sometimes that is, boom, way out of there. That was an instance where it wasn't, unfortunately. Now, the Eagles' defense were able to negate that by getting that interception after Jalen Hurts threw an interception. That's when Kevin Byard was able to step up in the early goings of that second quarter midway through that second quarter and make that play to nullify it. But unfortunately, then the Eagles get the ball back. They get one first down, and they go 1, 2, 3, and out after that. Jalen Hurts took a 7-yard sack. That was one of the sacks that he took in the game, and it was not pretty even a little bit. But listening to Nick Sirianni talk about the team's resiliency and talk about how Jalen Hurts just made the play to help this team win, that's what you're waiting for each and every week. And I said it before this game that the biggest difference for me in most Eagles teams that I've watched in my life and that 2017 Super Bowl champion team was that the defense or someone, most of the defense with turnovers, made a play to clinch the game. They did something throughout that entire season late in the game. This season, going into last night's game, it felt like sacks. Sacks with Hassan Reddick or Josh Sweat last night. Throughout the season, those have been the big plays that helped seal games. This game, it was all about turnovers. Hassan Reddick had a sack in the game, which was great to see that ball keep rolling for him, which is fantastic. But overall, you just see this team start slamming doors by making big plays at the end of the game or making big sacks at the end of the game, or in this particular game, get the turnovers when they needed the turnovers. That's the difference. Winning that battle. The fact that the Eagles haven't been winning that battle more often than not, they're 9-1, is still amazing to me. But it really does show you the resiliency of this team. One more thing, or a couple more things here from Nick Sirianni. All right, I want to take a pause in the breaking it down and just call BS on Sirianni, okay? Because I told you there's no way that any red-blooded football player is losing to a team in the Super Bowl and then facing them the following year and being like, it's just another game. It's just another game. It's just another game. I don't believe you, you liar, pants on fire. So Nick Sirianni is asked in the opening of the press conference there, yeah, it's just another game. You're not going to try to sell me on just another game, are you? Well, Nick Sirianni was saying it was just another game.
This is just another game. This is another game. All right, and that's the next game. And you ain't going to sucker me into saying that. This is a big game because it was our next one. Felt good to get a win against a really good football team in a hostile environment. And our guys were resilient. We just got a bunch of guys that know how to win. They know how to be resilient. They know how to be together. And hats off to that team. And those coaches really got a lot of respect for Spags and Coach Reid and Coach Nagy. Coach Taub.
Blah, 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 blah. He calls Andy Reid like one of the greatest coaches of all time. And he's right. He's not wrong in saying that, but whatever. So he respects that team. He respects Andy Reid. He respects everyone's great. It's just another game, blah, blah, blah. So that's what he said at the podium. Here's what he was doing moments earlier. All right, so
for the people on the podcast, Nick Sirianni was going up to the crowd, high-fiving them, and it looked as if he said to a Kansas City Chiefs fan, "See ya!"
So, yeah.
Before Big Dom and security escorted him off the field.
Are you doing that? Are you doing that after just another game, Nick Sirianni? Are you doing that after just another game? I don't think so. The last time I saw Nick Sirianni that amped up after a win, it was a close game. It was a messy game. It was a game that the Eagles had to rally in the fourth quarter. Sound familiar so far? And that was a game against the Indianapolis Colts. Shortly thereafter, the Indianapolis Colts fired his boy, his buddy, his mentor, Frank Reich. And you saw him running around Indianapolis. That was for Frank. That was for Frank. It was the last time I saw Nick Sirianni that amped up. So don't tell me that Indianapolis Colts game was just another. It's just another game. And don't tell me that this game against Kansas City Chiefs is just another game. Bull. Absolute bull. The Eagles did a great job of playing within themselves, not letting the moment get too big for them. And I'll tell you, there's a couple of different points, especially on a 2 or 3 plays last night where that mesh point between Jalen Hurts and DeAndre Swift was bonkers. I watched that. And I tweeted out, and of course, it was right before the Eagles scored a touchdown on their next possession. But I remember tweeting out last night, I go, wait, the Eagles look terrified. They look terrified to play this game. Now, you could say there was hesitancy because of the field. You could say that Jalen Hurts wasn't trusting the knee in that particular instance because of the slippery field. You don't want to try to break one at a bad moment and then re-aggravating the knee and reset any good that the bye week may have done. Who knows? But then they came out of the next possession and they ended up scoring a touchdown. So I'll just shut up and enjoy my big old plate of crow. But don't forget, I did pick the Eagles to win. And they found a way to win. The crazy thing about yesterday's game, I'll tell you what's bonkers about yesterday's game. All season long, through 8-1 going into yesterday, with the exception of the game against the Jets, of course, where the outcome was not in the Eagles' favor. The Eagles continued to find ways to win, but played poorly through large stretches of those games. And we kept saying, well, this is about the Super Bowl standard. This is about getting to a level that will say, oh, this team can win a Super Bowl. And after the game, hearing from Jalen Hurts and Nick Sirianni and a couple of the other players, I think it was Jalen Hurts, as a matter of fact, during his post-game interview on ESPN, was talking about how, we still didn't play a good enough game, but we won. Well, we've been saying that you're not going to be able to beat the Chiefs. You can't play like that and beat the Chiefs. Well, here they are in Kansas City at Arrowhead playing the Chiefs, and they're winning. Is large part of it due to the idea that the Kansas City Chiefs simply made more mistakes than the Philadelphia Eagles? Yeah, probably. But that doesn't mean that the Eagles weren't presented with opportunities to capitalize on, and they did a better job of capitalizing on them than the Kansas City Chiefs. Kevin Byard capitalized on an opportunity for the Kansas City Chiefs to score another touchdown by snatching an interception out of the sky. Bradley Roby stopped another opportunity there by the Kansas City Chiefs by punching the ball out of Travis Kelce's hands. What, am I going to fault the Eagles' offense and not praise the Eagles' defense for making a play? Last time I checked, you kind of win as a team. You lose as a team, too. Sometimes one guy can really make it difficult to win and make it a hell of a lot easier to lose, but it's never that one person's fault. Just like it's never that one unit's fault. Jalen Hurts found a way to win this game by putting that ball in Devontae Smith's hands down the field, setting up that touchdown run, that tush-push touchdown. And the defense just said, all right, here's another chance offense. How about another chance offense? Let's keep going with this. Because it's not like the Kansas City offense was capitalizing on opportunities. Their offense looked like the offense that we have seen them play really for the vast majority of this year. And what was crazy about this Eagles offense, this is the lowest scoring output for the Eagles this year in a win. The only time they scored fewer than 21 points was when they lost to the New York Jets. And now it's a 9-1 team, and we're looking ahead at this. So go ahead and update this for yourself mentally. Just chalk up a W next to at Kansas City on Monday night. Now they got the Buffalo Bills, who, if I had to pick a game that's going to be tough, like they really might lose, if I had to pick one game, it would be the Dallas Cowboys game in Dallas. If I had to really pick another one, and I'm not one to preach letdown games and trap games and all that stuff, but the Buffalo Bills are such a hapless team, and I know that it isn't a big win against the Jets, but talk about a team that can't win the turnover battle now. They have a quarterback in Josh Allen who has thrown an interception, at least one interception in 7 consecutive games. Yeah, go ahead. Keep giving opportunities to the Eagles. See what the offense does. So they got 1 win under their belt already. Now 2 if you include the game previous to the bye week, before the bye week against the Cowboys. 2-0 in the gauntlet, ladies and gentlemen. Now Buffalo. Then you host the San Francisco 49ers, a game I think they win. And then you go to Dallas for, of course, what will be a tough matchup on Sunday night against those Dallas Cowboys before going to Seattle. But that's the way it shapes up the rest of the year. Or excuse me, the next couple games on the gauntlet here. 2 things from Nick Sirianni. Yeah, 2 more things from Nick Sirianni. Second half adjustments. He gives a lot of credit to gives a lot of credit to Jason Kelce here. 5 sacks in the first half, 0 sacks in the second half. Here's why.
And this communication things that we had that we knew we had to get better at. We were behind the sticks, and so like I said, it was some things that we had to do as coaches to help out putting the guys in positions to make plays. But nobody sets the table and gets everybody on the same page better than Jason Kelce. Nobody I've ever been around does that. I've been around some really good guys that get everybody in position, but there was some confusion. They created some confusion. That's what, Spags does a great job of that, of creating confusion. And so it was just, looking at some of the things they were doing, getting everybody on the same page, trying to do a better job as coaches, getting them better places to make plays. And Jason and Jalen did a good job of getting everybody on that, everyone together and having a good second half.
Yeah, you ain't kidding. I definitely like it when the Eagles quarterback is not getting sacked. That's one of my favorite things is when he's not getting sacked. When he gets sacked, I don't like that. Last thing for the post game that I want to give you guys is Jalen Hurts. On talking about the development of that play, checking to it, and then being able to hit Devontae Smith. And here's the way Jalen Hurts broke it down, and he also gave a shout out to the Eagles defense last night.
I don't know. I think those things just kind of come to you in the game, and we hadn't really been efficient offensively. Wasn't on the same page on the interception, on the turnover we had some communication things in that hostile environment we played in. But in the end, it's just about finding a way to win, and whether things come to myself or we're just communicating between the receivers and I, or just talking through the game and what we're seeing, trying to take advantage of stuff. It was a great catch by him. Timely playing the game, just thinking about the opportunities we may have had early on in the game that we didn't take advantage of. All I can say is, you make those plays when you need to make those plays, and I'm just happy how we responded.
Responding is what it's all about. Facing adversity head on. Make sure you stack them wins, baby. Keep stacking them wins. Let me tell you right now about the great people at MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Take advantage of all they have to offer, especially through the holiday. Why argue about sports? But you can just bet on sports and make yourself some money, some cashola. And make sure you do that with MyBookie.ag. Take advantage of all they have to offer, especially when you use promo code Farzy. That's promo code Farzy at MyBookie. Here's what you get when you use promo code Farzy. You have an opportunity for a $1,000 cash bonus. That's right. Use promo code Farzy, and you get a sweet deposit bonus of up to $1,000. Not too shabby. So check out MyBookie over Thanksgiving. Enjoy the Turkey Day parlays. Picture this, not just watching games, but turning every second into a potential win, a big money win with MyBookie. You could stream the games, you could live bet on them, you could turn any game day into a big payday with MyBookie. Sound good? I think it sounds great. Ready to up your game? Sign up today and make your first deposit with promo code Farzy for that sweet deposit bonus of up to $1,000. That's promo code Farzy to claim your bonus. It isn't just a promo code, it's your secret weapon to get extra edge on the house. The best part is you don't even need to be a sports whiz at MyBookie to win money. You can cash in on everything from politics to your favorite shows and then some. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie. MyBookie.ag. Let's get into the chat check. I'm going to start it over on the Farzy Show page today before I go over to Jacob Media. Hello, A. Good morning. Nice to see you. Mally, good morning. Sean Kilrain. Mally. O-line looked suspect last night. Did not look great in the first half. Second half, much better. April. Good morning, April. Told you Slim Reaper, Sweat, Reddick would be the star of the game. Sean Kilrain. Yes, you did. April, definitely need to tighten up the O-line. The team looked better than I expected. I concur. Mally, hello. Smith said, I got you this game, AJ. Certainly looked like it. RJ is, what's up? Bayer definitely got the game ball. He changed the game. Certainly did. Taylor Swift's plan is working perfectly. Sean Gillespie. Yes, it is. Nice work. Alternative reality Super Bowl. Sean Gillespie, that's a lot of luck to be 9-1. Yeah, you ain't kidding. Paul Keed, how you been? The grit and determination shown by this team is incredible. It trickles down from the leaders with Hurts at the top. I concur. Jason A, hello. I didn't watch the ending. I fell asleep. Can't believe we won because the first half Chiefs looked good. Yeah, they did. Nothing about this game says the Eagles should have won it other than the scoreboard, which is kind of important. But, yeah, just unbelievable. Wow, T-Bro working in a great googly moogly. Birds are 9-1. The offensive coordinator driving me crazy with his play calling. Yeah, me too, for most of the game. Dropped touchdown passes at the end. Game deflated the Chiefs. Certainly looked like it. Jump over to the Jacob Media YouTube page. Hello, everyone over here. What's going on? Dank, Godfrey, everyone. Nice to see you. Godfrey, incredible second half performance. Absolutely. Godfrey, only two and a half hours of sleep. I just caught myself in the monitor. Let me look. Oh, yeah, I look fried. I look totally fried. King Pooty. What's up, King Pooty? Down 30-3 versus Baylor. Came back and won off Jalen's running and passing. Listen to that. Guy that's what he does. He comes back. And how about this? Jalen Hurts now has the most. Oh, damn it. What was the stat? Jalen Hurts, for talking about being clutch, Jalen Hurts now has 13 straight wins against winning teams in his career. He breaks a two-way tie with Peyton Manning and Vinny Testaverde. What? Yeah, Vinny Testaverde. Miss Scusi. By the way, I did see Tommy DeVito, his touchdown celebration. Oh, my God. I was dying. Britton Covey leading things off with that great return. Hell yeah. Devontae came through, too. He absolutely did. Just a team win, says Dank. Absolutely. Eagles fan, how many cups of coffee you had today, Farzy? 0 cups of coffee, and I've had 1 espresso, and I didn't even finish it, so excuse me. 1 espresso. Not as good when it's cold. All right. Haven't slept since. All right, there you go, Dank. Popping over here on the Jacob Media chat. You guys are fantabulous. Love life. Brian Johnson still has no rhythm to his offense. I would agree. Credit the Eagles not falling apart during the immense pressure. Yeah, a little bit. Jason B, thank you. Appreciate you. Swift could have used a screen game like Westbrook. I agree. Hope to see a lot more of it. Buy a scratch off. Oh, yeah, I did make that reference earlier, didn't I? Secondary needs to tighten up. Yes, they do. Joshua, what's up, Josh? Proud of this team. So am I. Fandalorian, again, great name. I think I told you that before. What a great morning this morning. Eagles 9-1. Hell yeah. Excellent. Everyone's happy. Ray, hello. Oh, Fandalorian made an espresso as well. Jen Don. Thanks, everybody in the chat. You guys are great, as per usual. Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. My name is Mark Farzetta. This is the Farzy Show. Make sure you hit like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. Jim Hyden produced the program, did a wonderful job. I'll be back with you guys, was it Wednesday? Tomorrow morning. Wait, tomorrow morning is Wednesday. No show tomorrow morning. No, wait. Wednesday is a show. Thursday's not a show. Tomorrow we will be here. See you guys then. Have a great rest of your day. Jim Hyden produced. See you guys tomorrow. Bye.